Good evening, everybody. Welcome to North Kansas City District Stadium as the Park Hill Trojans prepare to take on the North Kansas City Hornets. The Park Hill Trojans 3-2 facing the North Kansas City Hornets 1-4. And I'm joined in the booth by AJ Lenhart. And AJ, one of the things Park Hill's got to do as we go in, we're coming to the midpoint of the season. Park Hill's 3-2. They've got a long way to look, or they've got to look at the second half of the season, but there's some good news that they have to look forward to.
Yeah, Jim, they get to go into the second half and really get back into their district play and get into their league play. So far, they've played 3 Class 6 teams. They're 2-0 in league, 1-2 though in the rest of the class. So they got to get back to playing football again.
And North Kansas City 1-4 is coming off a victory last week against the Ruskin Eagles, and of course Park Hill played Ruskin, and they actually beat Ruskin when they played them.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruskin just couldn't handle the running game from Park Hill that night, and went into halftime with a 3-0 lead, and then just got blown up in the second half. From the sounds of things, North Kansas City handled them rather readily last week. Their passing game came through, and they really took care of Ruskin.
Park Hill has been plagued this year so far with injuries. They lost Wang early in the season. We've had a couple of guys go down since then. Last week there were some major hits, and we just recently learned of somebody else that we just lost.
Yeah, number 32, Will Gay. He was a linebacker, middle linebacker for the defense, and really helped anchor that defense. He is out for the year with a torn ACL, so there is no getting him back. He'll be he's a junior, so got next year to come back to, and we look forward to seeing him then.
Well, we're getting ready to start the game here in North Kansas City District Stadium. I'd like to remind you that 810varsity.com football is brought to you by Nick and Jake's. Nick and Jake's has real food on a string. Nick and Jake's, the proud title sponsor of 810varsity.com. Check out our promotions throughout the season on Facebook or on Twitter, and Nick and Jake's. Also brought to you by the Kansas City Command. Season tickets for the 2012 Arena Football League season at Sprint Center on sale now. Call 855-KC-ARENA. Back at North Kansas City District Stadium, Park Hill has won the toss. They'll receive the kickoff. Kicking off for North Kansas City is going to be John Planell. And we're underway here at North Kansas City. A short kick brought in by the Trojans at the 20-yard line. Spinning out of a tackle is number 83, Austrin Tavillian, and he'll get all the way up to about the 37-yard line before he's brought down, where Park Hill will start off 1st and 10.
Nice little pickup there on the kickoff. That short one, they were ready for it and came out firing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that teams have learned as this season's gone on is you got to stay away from some of those deep return guys for Park Hill. They've done pretty well this year so far. Tyler White once again under center for Park Hill. They'll put Aarons in motion coming to the near side. Quick toss back to McDonald. McDonald cuts to the near side, and he's going to come up to about the 45, breaks through a tackle, breaks through another tackle, until he's finally brought down at about the 49 as he works his way into North Kansas City territory. And last week, remember, McDonald didn't play for about the whole first half, and we see him in the first play here with a very impressive run on first down.
Yeah, North Kansas City did an excellent job stretching the play out. McDonald cut it back and picked up 11 yards. He looked really good on that run.
So the first play takes Park Hill already into North Kansas City territory. They'll do a quick handoff up the middle to Eustis. And Eustis pushes his way forward on first down for about 8 yards.
Well, North Kansas City is going to have a tough time stopping the run with that gap run that they're doing right now. And
so that brings up 2nd and 2 for Park Hill. Once again, they'll put Ahrens in motion. Tyler White's going to hand off to McDonald. He's met immediately in the backfield and brought down by number 52, Marquise Portier. So he loses 4 yards on the play, and a good job by North Kansas City getting through that hole.
Yeah, North Kansas City just blew up the gap on that one. They were ready for that play.
Jake Jones checks into the game for North Kansas City. We're just underway. 10:32 left to go in the first quarter. And Park Hill had a really tough time last week picking up 3rd downs. They were always on a 3rd and long. Let's see what they can do here, 3rd and 4. Pitch back to McDonald. McDonald is not going to make the first down. In fact, he's going to lose another yard as he's brought down right about midfield. And that'll bring up 4th down, and Park Hill is going to be forced to... Actually, it looks like Park Hill is going to leave their offense on the field, and they're going to go for it with 4th and 5.
Well, Coach Reynolds all year long has shown a lot of confidence in this ball club on 4th down, and he's been more than willing to go for it. They're shooting about 50% right now.
They've got Anthony Ahrens split out to the near side. And once again, they're going to hand off to McDonald. McDonald's going to go up the middle. And it looks like from here he'll have the first down. We'll see where they spot it. One of the officials is pretty much right on the first down marker. The other one is just short of it. And they did not get a very favorable spot there from the officials. And they're actually going to give the ball to North Kansas City. It looked like from here that he actually had the first down. And then when they marked the ball down, they scooted it back almost a full yard.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't a very favorable spot, but Coach Reynolds not dwelling on it. He's got his defense out there, and they're ready to go.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for North Kansas City. Their quarterback is Patrick Ward under center. He's going to drop back. Quick handoff to number 27, Austin Barnett. He's going to cut to the outside, pick up maybe 3 on the play, and bring up about 2nd and 7.
Sean Cash made the stop on that, and he read it all the way.
So that brings up 2nd and about, we'll call it 6 for North Kansas City. And once again, North Kansas City is going to go with a handoff up the middle. They'll pick up about 2 yards on the play, take it out to the 45-yard line. And one thing I'm looking at up the middle, I'm looking for in the defense, big Andre Pipkins, and I do not see him out there.
No, Andre doesn't seem to be starting this ball game right now.
Gary Wilson seems to be in his place. He's a sophomore, 6'1", 230. Horde back in the shotgun for North Kansas City on 3rd down. He'll look to pass. Looking to the near side. Tipped and almost intercepted by number 51, Ostron Smith. That was a very poorly thrown ball by Horde. And Smith was looking in, watching his eyes, and pretty much knew exactly where he was going to throw it.
Oh, they had excellent coverage on that play, and Austin was right in the right spot. All he had to do was hang on to the football.
Anthony Ahrens will be deep to receive the kick from North Kansas City. Elijah Maravik will be the kicker for North Kansas City. And he gets a good punt away. Ahrens is going to bring it in about the 20. And he is immediately struck by Cameron Madison. And that was a big hit by Madison.
Yeah, Ahrens paid the price for not doing a fair catch, but If he does a fair catch there, then he loses all possibility of a return.
Special teams play looking pretty good there for North Kansas City. 8:03 left to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for Park Hill. They'll start off at about the 20-yard line. Ahrens and Holmes are going to split out to the far side for Park Hill. McDonald in the backfield. White looking to pass. He throws it out to the outside to Ahrens. Ahrens is going to run up along the sideline. Might gain up about 2 yards on the play. He was brought down by Cameron Madison at about the 22-yard line. So that brings up about a 2nd and 8 for Park Hill.
This North Kansas City defense right now is doing an excellent job of staying at home and sniffing out the plays.
Park Hill this time has 3 wide receivers split to the near side. They'll put Hustis in motion. And White's going to hand off to McDonald. McDonald up the middle. And he's immediately brought down. Marcus Jones actually got his hand out there and grabbed and tripped up McDonald.
Yeah, Marcus saw something in the pregame or something there, and he read that all the way.
And once again, Park Hill having a little bit of trouble getting started on offense. That brings up a long 3rd down, about a 3rd and 7 for Park Hill. 6:52 to go in this first quarter. Tyler White once again looking to pass. Throws to the near side. Caught by number 26, Ahrens. But he's immediately brought down at about the 24-yard line. And once again, that'll bring up 4th down for Park Hill. Did a good job getting the pass out there, but the blocking just wasn't there. And North Kansas City stayed home pretty well.
Yeah, like I said, North Kansas City is doing an excellent job. They're staying home here and holding on. So.
Deep to receive for North Kansas City is Marcus Jones. He's going to let the ball bounce. And it'll be down by Park Hill at about the 30-yard line where North Kansas City will take over. 1st and 10. Thinking about making a move? Fall is a great time to sell your home. Call Ken Hoover at 816-210-2027 or visit online at kenhooversells.com. He'd be happy to answer any questions you have and help you in any way. Ken Hoover, 816-210-2027, the real estate professional you can count on. 5:59 left to go in this first quarter, just underway. No score here in North Kansas City as they take over 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Ford's back to pass for North Kansas City. He's got a receiver who breaks free down the sideline, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 48-yard line as he works his way into Park Hill territory, and that was Tyler Palmer for North Kansas City with the pickup.
Yeah, North Kansas City, quarterback number 8, threw an excellent strike down the sideline on that and just waited for the receiver to make his break and put the ball right on target.
And you remember Jeff City had some plays that were very similar to that, and they took a big advantage last week. There's a run up by the middle by North Kansas City, and that'll lead to no gain, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage where it'll be 2nd and 10.
Gary Wilson out there, he's doing an excellent job of clogging that middle with Andre out of the game.
And we'll have to do some checking and see where Andre is and why he is not in the game. That's kind of unusual. Second and 10 for North Kansas City. Ford's looking to pass, looks downfield, had an open receiver. He was looking for number 44, Rudy Rodriguez-Tyner, and he just simply dropped the ball. A very catchable ball. Good pass by Horde. Maybe a little bit out in front of him, but very catchable.
Yeah, this quarterback's a lefty, which puts a little different spin on the ball, and these receivers. I was talking to some of the coaching early before the ball game, and they were talking about the receivers were having a little bit of trouble catching on and feeling the comfort zone that they would feel with a normal right hand, or the majority of the right-handed quarterbacks.
So Horde once again is going to set up the screen. He drops the ball off to number 4, Kadeem McIntosh. He'll gain a couple of yards on the play, but that'll bring up 4th down.
We got a player down right now for North Kansas City.
We'll see if we can figure out who that player is, and I did not see what happened.
Number 52, I believe, Jim.
And 52 is going to be Marquise Portier.
He was in obvious pain rolling around on the ground there. Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, while we have an injury timeout on the field, we'll step away. Don't forget you're following 810varsity.com on 810 Varsity Sports Network.
Andre's at the end of the bench, not dressed.
Really?
Yeah. See in jeans, blue and white, and jeans down there on the right.
What the fuck is up with that? How do you know that's him?
Oh, when the other guys are standing up, he's 6 inches taller than everybody.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just asking.
He's the biggest guy on the field.
He's 6 inches taller than everybody, and he's like 17 inches wider than everybody. So.
Welcome back to North Kansas City High School. Marquise Portier shaken up on the play. He's being helped off the field by the coaching staff. And we have gotten an update on Andre Pipkins. We don't know for what reason, but we have found that he is on the sideline, and he's not even dressed out for this game. So we'll try to get an update for you on that situation. It brings up 4th down for North Kansas City. And this brings up another punt for Amravik for North Kansas City. And he barely got that punt away. And they shanked it a little bit, but it's going to take a positive roll for North Kansas City, but a little too positive if it rolls into the end zone for a touchback. So Park Hill will take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, McDonald did an excellent job there. That ball gets over you or gets by you. You don't want to pick it up. You just want to let it go and take your medicine, and it went right into the end zone for him.
When it first hit the ground, it actually looked like it might stop at around the 5 or 6 yard line, or maybe even the 4. So you're right, McDonald, a great job there letting the ball go. So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Park Hill. They'll be at the 20-yard line on the touchback. McDonald once again in the backfield. Tyler White under center. Tyler's going to do a quick handoff, and that goes nowhere as they try to run up the middle once again, and immediately met by North Kansas City. That was Houston on the carry. So that brings up they're going to give him about, it looks like they're going to end up giving him about a yard on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
You know, North Kansas City is doing an excellent job of clogging that middle right now and gang tackling. It's the best way to stop a running game.
Tyler White's going to look to throw. He's looking deep. He's got a man open. Overthrows his intended receiver. He was looking for Trawick on the far side. And it looked there for a minute like he had him open by a step, but the ball was overthrown. Trawick actually looked like he may have slowed up on the play, and the ball went over his head.
Yeah, he didn't have a good timing route, and he tried to time his jump, and he just jumped a little bit early.
And it looks like Coach Reynolds is trying to do something to loosen up this line. He's trying to get these guys to have to back out just a little bit instead of clogging up the middle. Tyler White looking to pass again. Can't find an open receiver. And he's brought down by number 41, Jordan Williams, way in the backfield. And they're going to mark him down at about the 8-yard line, and that is going to be a loss of nearly 14 yards on that play, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, White committed the cardinal sin. He ran backwards. He should have just tucked the ball and kind of went his own way. So
Anderson's going to punt for Park Hill. Jones to receive for North Kansas City. The ball will bounce down about the 40. North Kansas City's going to let it go. Park Hill will down it. Actually, as it bounces forward to about the 44-yard line, where North Kansas City will take over 1st and 10. We have no score. 2:54 left to go in this first quarter. So far, the offense of Park Hill, how do you think they're looking so far?
Right now, they're still a little sluggish. They seem to be struggling to get going. Timing's there. Just haven't, the breaks haven't went their way yet.
McIntosh and Matley lined up in the backfield. Hord's going to throw. He's looking downfield. Oh, and a catch by number 83, Roy Clater. He got tangled up with the defender for Park Hill. There is no flag on the play, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
That was an
first
excellent
down
throw
for North Kansas City. Excellent catch by number 83, Roy Clater.
Clater was a late addition to this ball club, Jim. He didn't start playing until week 2.
Hord once again is going to throw. He's got an open receiver. That's number 2, Marcus Jones. And that was a great open field tackle by Park Hill, because if he gets past him, he was in the end zone.
Oh, absolutely.
8-yard pickup on the play for North Kansas City brings up a 2nd and 2. And we have a timeout on the field for, it looks like, an equipment problem for Park Hill. So defensively, Park Hill, these passes are kind of spreading them out a little bit, and they're having trouble defending them.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of trouble lining up, even up.
.209 left to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 2 for North Kansas City. Hord looking to hand off. He hands off to McIntosh, and McIntosh is into the end zone, it looks like. Nope, they're going to mark him down. Mark him down at the 2, where it'll bring, well, actually they're going to mark him down at about the 1-inch line, where it'll be 1st and goal for North Kansas City. And defensively, you can tell without Pipkin in the middle, Park Hill is going to have to find an answer to this defense.
Yeah, they're going to have somebody step up in this ball game for that.
Fighting for yardage, and it's going to be a touchdown for North Kansas City. They just tried to plow it up the middle, and it worked. They only had about an inch to go, so it really wasn't too much of a problem.
It looked like Park Hill had the middle stopped up, and he just happened to slide through, caught the right gap.
Extra point attempt from Omervik. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 1:12 left to go in the first quarter, North Kansas City over Park Hill, 7-0. So Park Hill had North Kansas City had some pretty good offensive plays, but where they really did good was in the air.
Yeah, they actually caught a break on the defender falling down on the long pass there. That was number 2, Gage Wright. I really like that kid. He plays excellent man up. They count on him a lot. He just happened to slip down. A little bit of hand play there. No call. Good call. And then at the end, Nice run there off tackle for get it down to the 1-inch line before they punched it in.
So North Kansas City will kick off with 1:12 left to go in the first quarter. Hardiman's deep to receive for North Kansas or for Park Hill. And it looks like North Kansas City was going to try a little onside kick, but it looks like they may have been offside on the kick. So a little trickery on the part of North Kansas City.
Yeah, if you're North Kansas City, I mean, it's a good chance. You're up 7-0. You're right here at the end of the first quarter. Gives you an opportunity to, really get going, get up in the ball game, get Park Hill back on their heels.
So that'll back North Kansas City up to the 35-yard line for this kick. And let's see if Park Hill can take advantage of this. This time they'll kick off, and Trawicks is down at the 14-yard line. It's actually brought in by number 36, Sean Cash. He'll bring the ball up to about the 30-yard line, and there's a North Kansas City player down on the play at the end of the play. I can't tell who that player is down on the field. We're at 1:07 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0. North Kansas City leads. We have an injury timeout on the field. We'll be back. You're listening to the A10 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City, 7-0. 1:07 left to go in the first quarter. Cavante Jackson was shaken up on that play. He is off the field now, and he'll be looked out by the training staff. Park Hill will take over 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. And Park Hill's got to be reeling a little bit from what happened to them last week, and they've got to get this offense going.
Yeah, they've got to build a little confidence, and the only way you can build confidence is get moving and get your blocking going, get back to basics, and follow through with the plays the coach is calling.
Jake Jones split out to the near side. Tyler White's going to hand off. No, he's going to pass. He's looking for a receiver. He's got Eustace. Eustace cuts it back to the outside, and he'll be drug out of bounds at about we'll call it the 37-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 7 on first down, which is one of the things we talked about last week, having manageable second, third down situations for Park Hill.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. And the one thing they did good on that play is he let the play develop. He didn't panic. He didn't run backwards. He let the defender come up in his face, and he just went over the top of him with the pass.
And Tyler White did a really good job on the play action, selling the fake.
Oh, he did, absolutely.
Park Hill tries to run up the middle. It looks like they have enough for the first down, and they do. And that'll bring up a first down as they move the ball forward to the 41-yard line. 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Hands off the middle. That's Eustace. He's free. He's to the 40, to the 30, and brought down at about the 28-yard line. Good run up the middle by Eustace.
Just a quick hit handoff there. Excellent play called by Coach Reynolds.
He was brought down from behind by number 2, Marcus Jones. And Marcus Jones saved a touchdown for North Kansas City. 13 seconds left to go in this first quarter. See if they get the playoff. They only have 5, 4, 3 seconds left to go. Tyler White under center. And he will not. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. 7-0 North Kansas City leads over Park Hill. Second quarter coming up. It'll be first down for Park Hill. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City High School as we begin the second quarter. 7-0. North Kansas City has the lead, but Park Hill is on the move. First down, they'll hand off up the middle to McDonald. He'll gain about 5 yards on first down, make it 4 yards on first down. He'll take the ball up to the 25-yard line, and that'll bring up a manageable 2nd and 5 for Park Hill. And Park Hill really needs to get this offense going.
Yeah, Park Hill's doing an excellent job executing the offense right now, but you're right. They got to sustain the drive, and they got to come out of this with some points. That's how you build confidence.
And looking back, Park Hill hasn't scored any points in the last 5 quarters of play. Eustace with the carry this time up the middle. He'll get up to about the 20, just past the 20-yard line, and that should bring up about 3rd and 1 for Park Hill. Logan Chevalier checks in for Park Hill. So a short 3rd and 1, and Park Hill needs to keep this drive alive. White's going to hand off to Eustace. He's up the middle. He breaks a tackle. Then he fumbles. Recovered in the end zone by North Kansas City, but I believe he was down, and in fact, they are going to rule him down at about the 1-yard line. So Eustace gets a break there. It looked like he was indeed down, but
yeah, the ground can't cause a fumble in high school football, so he got a break there. He was on his way down. His hand and one knee had touched the ground. So,
and that was an excellent run, though, up the middle. He broke about 3 tackles, and very good job by Eustace there.
Yeah, I think the coach will remind him when he gets to the sideline to protect that ball next time.
So Park Hill scores a touchdown and a handoff on Eustace. So he got to redeem himself a little bit. Almost made it in the end zone the first time, then actually made it through on a 1-yard run for Eustace at 10:23 left to go in this first half. That'll bring Tatone out for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it wide right. So that'll make it 7-6. North Kansas City maintains the lead with 10:23 left to go in the first half. Want the finest in lifestyle, education, and location? The National clearly ranks as Kansas City's premier lifestyle community. north of the river. Homes of two Tom Watson signature design golf courses. Housing choices from $250,000 to over $1 million. Call 816-587-HOME for more information, or you can visit them at thenationalgolfclub.com. Follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter the rest of the season, and we'll choose a weekly winner for a $50 gift certificate to Best Buy, Nick and Jake's, and more. Follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter today. 7-6 North Kansas City over Park Hill. Park Hill will set to kick off. Deep to receive for North Kansas City is going to be number 2, Marcus Jones, and number 7, Bryant Washington. And Sampson will be kicking off for Park Hill. Very short kick by Sampson. North Kansas City bobbles the ball. He recovers his own bobble, but he's immediately brought down at the 30-yard line, where North Kansas City will take over 1st and 10. And if you're Park Hill's defense, you really need to step up. Keep the momentum. You got a little bit of momentum going. Keep that momentum going. See if you can. You're back in the game now. See if you can make something positive happen.
Yeah, they're missing Andre Pipkin right now to help hold up that middle, but where they're getting beat is by North Kansas City speed on the outside and the receivers. They've got to step up and put some pressure on that quarterback.
Patrick Ward in the shotgun for North Kansas City. He'll put Jones in motion. Then he'll hand off to Jones. Jones tries to break away from a tackle, but he's immediately brought down by Kelvin Jarman for Park Hill. So an excellent job of staying with the play, staying at home, and creating a loss of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, that was an excellent job by the defense. They contained the run and then put the pressure up the field. They didn't give him any cutback lanes, so they didn't really have to worry about that backside on anything.
And that's exactly what we talked about, as North Kansas City has the ball, but Park Hill needs to step up defensively and get the ball back so their offense can help them out. Ward to pass. Pass intended for Jones, overthrew his receiver.
Excellent coverage there by Gage. Gage Wright did a great job of coming up to make the open field tackle. The receivers got height on him. He went up for the ball, and Gage went for the tackle instead of the ball.
And so the defense for Park Hill has put them in an excellent situation as North Kansas City's looking at a 3rd and 16 with 9:36 left to go in the half. Number 83, Roy Clater, split out to the near side for North Kansas City. Horde looking to throws a screen. Threw a screen to McIntosh, but Park Hill was all over it, and that brings up 4th down. And North Kansas City may have gained a yard on the play, but it brings up about 4th and 15.
That was excellent containment by Hatton there. Did a spectacular job coming upfield on that.
So North Kansas City once again forced a punt. Nice high punt. That's Holmes, who took the ball in at about the 50, brought it out to about the 45, 46. They'll mark it down, where Park Hill will take over 1st and 10 with 8:51 left to go in this first half.
If you're Park Hill, you want to continue doing what you did the last frame. Get your offense going, keep the run going, and everything will work out great.
And defensively, Park Hill did exactly what they needed to do. They stopped the offensive possession, gave their offense an excellent opportunity to get back in this ball game and actually score some points, maybe take the lead.
Yeah, Park Hill's doing a great job of winning the field position battle right now.
White tries to hand off to Houston, who tries to go up the middle, and he got nowhere as he is immediately met by a horde of North Kansas City defenders. They're going to actually give him a few feet on the play, but it'll bring up essentially a 2nd and 9. Second 10. White's going to hand it off to Hardiman. Hardiman cuts to the outside, and he's brought down about the 40-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
It's in the area of holding, Jim.
Looks like Marcus Jones was in on the tackle for North Kansas City, and he's been all over that field. We'll wait from the call. In fact, it is going to be holding against Park Hill, and that'll back him up. So that'll bring up about second and 20 for Park Hill as they place the ball all the way back at the 44-yard line. Tyler White's looking to throw, trying to find an open receiver. He's being pursued and brought down by number 41, Jordan Williams. Another loss on the play, and Park Hill is taken back to about the 42-yard line, where it's going to be third and about 22. And you don't have any plays in your playbook for third and 22.
No, this is just gain as much as you can and hope your offense can get back into the field position they had and win the battle.
So Park Hill split out Trawick to the near side. And Tyler White's going to hand it off to Hardiman, who cuts up the middle.
On to go.
And he is free. He's to the 20, to the 10. Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Park Hill. So on third and 22, when I say there's no play in the playbook, they hand it off to Hardiman. He busts out a 64-yard run for a touchdown.
Excellent play by Hardiman. Put the ball away, protected the ball, and took it to the house. There was nobody going to catch him.
And that was just a simple run up the middle, and well done by Hardiman.
Yeah, Park Hill did an excellent job by spreading them way out. They were looking past the whole way, and they surprised him with a quick hand up the middle there.
So Park Hill, because of the missed extra point attempt last time, is going to go for two. Tyler White's looking to pass. He can't find an open receiver. He throws into the corner, and we haven't got a signal yet. It is good. The two-point conversion is good for Park Hill. And that was Lane Holmes with the reception in the end zone, and now Park Hill leads 14-7 with 7:08 left to go in this half. Excellent offensive run, not so much an offensive possession as they were moving backwards, but you've talked about this before. Your Coach Reynolds, you've got to tell your guys, stay in it, because you never know what will happen.
Exactly. You don't want them to concentrate on the play. After the play's over, the play's dead in your mind. You go on to the next one, and you execute the play that's called.
North Kansas City is going to send Cameron Madison back to receive. Back there with him will also be Marcus Jones. Sampson will kick off for Park Hill. Park Hill now leads 14-7, and this is the first lead they've had in a long time. Nice kick by Sampson. It'll be brought in by Jones. No, correction, that's brought in by Madison. But he cuts to the near side. There is a flag down as he crosses the 40-yard line, and he's finally pushed out of bounds by John Balsamo. But let's check the penalty. And it looks in the area of what could be an illegal block in the back, but let's see what we have.
Actually, two flags down on the field there, Jim.
There's one down at the 20 about midfield, in the middle of the field. Illegal block in the back against North Kansas City 2 times. Unfortunately, you only get to count one of them. And that'll bring what was really a pretty good return by Madison, bring it back.
Well, and I think that penalty is marked off from the spot of the foul, so if they take the first one, it's going to be 1st and 10 inside the 10-yard line, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like the deepest one's that one there in midfield, or in the middle of the field, about the 20. looks like they're going to mark it right where you said, right about the 10-yard line. So North Kansas City will take over first and 10 at the 10, 6:59 to go in this first half. Park Hill leads 14-7. Ford hands off to the outside to McIntosh. He's brought down. He runs about 20 yards side to side, and I think he barely got past to the back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Gage Wright once again was right there to stuff the play. They stretched it all the way out to him, and he came up and made an excellent open field tackle.
And it feels like there's been a huge momentum shift here in this game for Park Hill.
Well, and that's just what Park Hill needs after a rough homecoming game last week against Jeff City.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 with 6:31 left to go in this first half. Ford's looking to throw. He's looking downfield. His pass is intended for number 44, Tyner, but he overthrew his receiver by just a little bit.
Well, I think Gage Wright had the right play on that one. He got deep on the receiver and had his hands outside, stretched out for that ball. Just came up short. He tangled up with the receiver a little bit.
And you know, North Kansas City has been challenging Gage Wright all night long, and Gage Wright has done an excellent job. They've had little or no success against him.
They had the one big catch where he fell down, but like I said, that he's done an excellent job tonight. Coach Reynolds got to be happy with him.
That brings up a 3rd and 10 for North of Kansas City. Horde's looking to pass once again. Once again, he throws high. His pass was intended for number 83, Roy Clater. That'll bring up 4th down. Excellent defensive stand by Park Hill.
Yeah, Park Hill that time, as you notice, is starting to get more and more pressure up the middle, and they're not giving him quite as large a pocket to throw from, so he's not able to follow through, which is why these passes are ending up a little bit high right now. If you're Park Hill, that's what you want to continue to do.
Wayne Holmes is set to receive the punt, and he's already standing inside North Kansas City territory to receive the kick. Ball is going to bounce down and bounce forward, and it'll be downed right about the 49-yard line where Park Hill will take over 1st and 10. So it's actually good. It feels like there's a momentum shift, and you can actually feel this Park Hill team getting some confidence back, which is something they truly needed.
Oh, absolutely. They're doing an excellent job right now. Gage Wright on defense is holding up the coverage on the wide receivers for North Kansas City. He's speed for speed. It's just been a really good momentum shift, as you said, after that first quarter.
Park Hill is going to send 2 receivers to the near side. And they only have 1 defender. I don't know if Tyler White sees it, but they're going to send McDonald up the middle, and he breaks free for a gain of 15 on 1st down. And notice number 3, Cameron Madison, is standing out here all by himself, and he's looking at his teammates with his arms in the air saying, what's everybody doing? He had 2 receivers. He couldn't cover either one of them. I don't think Tyler White saw it. If he would have, one of those guys was wide open.
Well, you know the coaching staff is seeing that, and they're going to bank it for the second half. They're going to have to make an adjustment on that.
This time Trawick's set to the near side, but he's one-on-one. They're going to give it to McDonald again. McDonald's going to cut to the inside. He breaks free, and he's down to the 10, to the 5. And he is pushed out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. Excellent run for McDonald once again.
Yeah, McDonald did the one thing that we've been talking about all year long. He followed the blockers all the way down the field. He set them up and broke through, but we got a flag back here at the 28-yard line.
And everybody's walking back, so it looks like it's going to be against Park Hill, and it is. It's holding against Park Hill. But an excellent run by McDonald. And he is doing an excellent job of following those blockers and getting and breaking free.
Yeah, like I said, Coach Reynolds talked to him about that earlier in the year. After the Liberty game, we talked about it. After Jordan Wayne got hurt there, and it has just been a really good thing to see. He's responded well to the coaching.
So it'll bring up a 1st and 13 situation for Park Hill. And they'll start off at the 38-yard line. We've got 5:36 left to go in this first half. Park Hill has Jake Jones split out to the near side. Tyler White's looking towards Jones. Ball was knocked down by Marcus Jones from North Kansas City, and Tyler White's lucky he didn't get intercepted on that play.
Yeah, he didn't see Wright coming in, and he jumped. He had it read the whole way. I bet he wishes he had that one back.
Eustis and Trawick are going to split out to the far side. They had that same situation. They were covered by one defender. North Kansas City caught it, set a second defender over there. And they'll hand off up the middle to McDonald. McDonald immediately brought down. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. It's probably going to bring up about a 3rd and 10. So at 3rd and 11, of course, you never know what's going to happen. The last time they had 3rd and 22 and broke off a 64-yard run. McDonald's lined up in the backfield. 3 receivers split to the far side, 1 to the near side. Tyler White's going to look to throw. Looking downfield, he has an open receiver, and that's caught. That's Jake Jones on the far side. He'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 23-yard line, and on 3rd and 11, they pick up 13.
Well, and like we'd been discussing, Jim, that North Kansas City's slow to get that 3rd defender out there on that 3rd wide open receiver. He runs a short curl route for the 1st down.
You know, and something we're seeing different tonight that we didn't see last week, when you got into these long 3rd down situations, 2nd and 3rd last week, it was almost like they gave up and knew they weren't going to get a 1st down. Tonight you don't see that. You get into these long 3rd down situations and they come back and they are ready to go. Handoff off the middle to Hardiman. He gets nowhere. He'll maybe lose a yard on the play.
Yeah, you want to credit Coach Reynolds for that. I believe he's got their attitude turned back around and has them convinced that they can go anywhere with this football.
So Hardiman does lose it about 1 on the play and 2nd down and 11. Jake Jones once again is going to split out to the near side. Quick handoff up the middle. Once again, that's Eustis, the ball carrier. He's going to pick up maybe 3, and it'll bring up 3rd and about 7.
Well, for every one of those quick hits you do, and then if you spread them out like we've been seeing, it's opening up the middle on these long 3rd downs. See if they do it again here.
So call it 3rd and 7, 3:36 left to go in this first half. Park Hill leads 14-7. Tyler White's going to flip it back to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to look for a gap out on the outside. He's forced out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. That's 4th down and about 4. And I would assume Coach Reynolds is going to go for it in this situation. He's got 3:10 left to go in this first half.
Yeah, he's got the lead. He's got a confident offense out on the field. And more so, he's got a confident White. And that's what you need. You got your quarterback's really confident that he can move the football. So you keep him out there, you let him try.
They actually spot the ball down at the 12-yard line, brings up a 4th and 4. They'll split out 2 wide receivers to the near side. Hardiman's in the backfield with Eustis. And Tyler White's going to flip it back to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to cut to the near side. He jumps over a defender, He breaks a tackle and he walks in for a touchdown. And once again, Coach Reynolds shows it doesn't matter what down it is, it doesn't matter how many yards you have to go, Park Hill's able to score.
And he's not afraid to run the ball on those long third downs. He's done it twice now, and it's worked both times for him.
That is a big tribute to that offensive line. First of all, setting up the blocks, and then the running backs following those blocks.
Absolutely. And the wide receivers as well. They have done a spectacular job out there on the outside right now.
Mitchell to Tony, the extra point is good. That gives Park Hill a 21-7 lead. 2:32 left to go in the first half. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City High School District Stadium. 21-7, Park Hill leads over North Kansas City. Short kickoff by Park Hill. It's actually touched by North Kansas City, and Park Hill's going to recover at the 22-yard line. It looked like number 11, Cavante Jackson, actually tried to pick the ball up. He knocked it forward.
Yeah, he tried to field the ball. The ball just took a really good positive bounce for Park Hill, and their guys did an excellent job of covering the kick, and it basically worked like an onside kick.
So now 2:32 left to go in the first half. Park Hill up 21-7. They have the ball at the 22-yard line. And I would think if you're Park Hill at this point, you want to use up that 2:32 as much as you can. Tyler White's going to look to pass, however. Throws behind his intended receiver. That's Holmes. But Holmes was wide open.
Yeah, White missed him. He knows he missed him. You saw him acknowledge him as he walked off, as a receiver left the field. So they'll put that one in their bank and come back to it later in this ball game.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10 for Park Hill. They'll split Trawick out to the near side. Tyler White's going to hand off to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to cut. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to break another tackle. He's still free. And he'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 5-yard line as he picks up another 15 yards on 2nd down.
Hardiman is just running hard today. If you haven't noticed, the kid is just being phenomenal out there right now. He's up there congratulating the offensive line. He knows where it starts. He's just doing an excellent job of following his blocks.
Offensive line is doing an excellent job of setting those blocks up for him. They're actually going to give him the 4-yard line where it's going to be 1st and goal from the 4. We're at 2:15 left to go in the first half. Tyler White once again going to hand off to Hardiman. Hardiman cuts through, and he is in for the touchdown. And it's like at this point they can do no wrong.
Right now, Hardiman is loving life. His offensive line is winning the battle in the trenches. They're pushing North Kansas City 4 and 5 yards off the ball, and Hardiman's just following his blocks and waiting for the gap to open up, and he's hitting it hard.
Extra point attempt is up, and it is good, and it is now 28-7 with 2:01 left to go in the first half. If you need a realtor in the Northland, you need to call a realtor you can trust. Ken Hoover treats the needs of you at a down-to-earth level. Call Ken today and get the most out of your next move. Call Ken Hoover at 816-210-2027 or visit him online at kenhooversells.com. Don't forget the Kansas City Command tickets are on sale. The season tickets for the 2012 Arena Football League season are on sale at the Sprint Center. Call 855-KC Arena. And a great first half for Park Hill.
Yeah, very great second quarter. They've done an excellent job coming out in the second quarter. They've scored 28 unanswered points.
Deep to receive back for North Kansas City are going to be Madison and Jones. Another short kick. North Kansas City brings it in at the 20-yard line. And they'll be brought down about the 26-yard line, where they'll take over 1st and 10 with 1:55 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, Park Hill's doing a great job on these kickoffs. They recognize the speed that North Kansas City has and their two return men, and they're really not giving them a chance to return the football.
And you know, they were a little shaky at first, but this defense has really stepped up without Andre Pipkins in there.
Yeah, number 73 has just done a phenomenal job for a sophomore. He's stepped in there, and he's getting good penetration against this North Kansas City offensive line.
And that's Gary Wilson for Park Hill stepping up. Ford looking to throw, finds a receiver. It was intended for Jones. And there's a penalty flag down on the play right where the hit was made.
That flag came in real late, but it's in pass interference territory.
The hit actually looked like it was well after any type of pass interference would be called. They're having a discussion about it. Let's see what the call is from our official. They're going to call a personal foul against North Kansas City.
Must have happened well after the play was over. I didn't see anything on that one.
It might have been something while Marcus Jones was sitting on the ground. And, of course, we can't hear up here. It could have very easily been something he said.
Yeah, referee was right in there on the play, so.
So that brings up 2nd and 18 for North Kansas City. We're at 1:55 left to go in this first half. Ford drops back to pass. He's looking deep downfield. He's looking for Jones, and he overthrows his receiver as it comes out of bounds. He was defended by John Balsamo. I don't think that ball was catchable as it landed about 7 yards out of bounds.
Yeah, the North Kansas City receiving core has got a good 3-4 inches on most of these D-backs, but Park Hill has just been in the right position all day except for that one touchdown, or the one long pass play before the touchdown in North Kansas City.
And the one thing, if you're North Kansas City, the problem is you're throwing the ball all over the field, but these incomplete passes are stopping the clock every time. And we're only down to 1:49 left, and you're looking at a 3rd and 18 for North Kansas City. They haven't used up any more. They've used 12 seconds since they've gotten the ball back. Ford once again looks to throw. He does a screen out to Barnett. Barnett breaks a few tackles, gets up to the 32, but he is going to be short of the first down as he's brought down at the 32. It'll bring up about a 4th and 5, and we have a timeout on the field. Timeout Park Hill as we have a timeout. We'll step away. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City High School. We're 1:38 left to go in the first half. 28-7 Park Hill leads. 4th and 4 for North Kansas City, and they are going to punt. do get the punt off, and a really good punt, and that's going to back Park Hill up. Immediately brought down by number 13, Anthony Skyler, or Skinner Tyner.
Coach Reynolds is going to have a talk with his gunners on his special teams. They're not doing a real good job of giving their return man much time to field the punt and get upfield.
He was actually brought down at the 32-yard lines. They've got a 32-yard line. They've got a minute 30. But Tyler White has shown that a minute 30 is a long time for him to get down the field.
Well, right now with the run game he's got behind him, anything's possible.
They're going to split out Eustis and Holmes to the near side. Tyler White looking to throw. He's looking for Holmes. It's off his fingertips. I think he was looking at the end zone and not at the ball. He had a step on his defender.
Anytime the ball gets into your chest, you're in trouble. It's going to bounce off, and that's what happened to Lane Holmes.
1:26 left to go in this first half. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for Park Hill. This time they'll split 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. McDonald's in the backfield. Tyler White once again looking to throw. Can't find an open receiver, throws it out of bounds. The nearest receiver for Park Hill was Chevalier.
White did the right thing there. He couldn't find an open receiver down the field, so he got close to the line of scrimmage and threw the ball away.
Brings up 3rd and 10, and we're down to 1:21 left to go in this first half. Same formation as last time. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. McDonald in the backfield. This time they hand off to McDonald. He goes up the middle. Maybe gains 2 yards on the play, maybe 3. He'll take it up to the 36-yard line where that'll bring up 4th down, and Park Hill will be forced to punt. And with that, North Kansas City is going to take a timeout. We'll step away. 1:21 to go, 28-7. Park Hill has the lead. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network.
Park Hill, McDonald's come in. They're handing the ball off to him. He's running up the middle. He's beating people up. Then they turn around and they bring Hayden or Hardiman in, and they don't even see him. He darts through the line and they can't catch him.
Hardiman's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
McDonald's 9'4".
Yeah. I mean, McDonald just hasn't got that low center of gravity Hardiman's got.
Welcome back to North Kansas City High School. Park Hill over North Kansas City 28-7. We're 1:21 left to go in the first half. Park Hill is looking at a 4th down and 6 situation. And they're set to punt. Nice punt once again, taken in by Jones at the 35. He breaks 1 tackle, breaks another tackle. He's got some room to run. And he's brought down at about the 41-yard line. Brought down by number 62, Zach Anderson. But a good return for North Kansas City, and that brings up 1st and 10. They've got 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. They're at the 41-yard line.
Did a great job of controlling that high spiral punt, and then got a good return back with really not a whole lot of blocking support at all.
Roy Clater is going to split out to the near side for North Kansas City. Horde's looking at him to throw, and he's got a reception. He's immediately brought down by number 36, Sean Cash. Good tackle by Cash as North Kansas City moves the ball up to the 32-yard line. That brings up a 2nd and 1 situation. We're under a minute to play here in North Kansas City in the first half. Horde once again looking to throw. Under pressure, throws. The ball was actually thrown right at Chauncey Hatton, who deflected the ball. And if if he could have caught that ball, he'd be standing in the end zone here in about a minute.
Yeah, Hatton just flat out didn't see the ball coming. Let's be honest. He was looking, he was covering his man, he was doing what he's supposed to do. He didn't take a peek, and all of a sudden his receiver tried to come up, and he turned around, the ball was there.
So that brings up 3rd and 1 for North Kansas City. We're at 43 seconds left to go in this first half. 28-7, Park Hill leads. Ford back to throw once again, looking, finds his open receiver. That's Clater. Clater's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down for North Kansas City. That stops the clock with 38 seconds left to go. Ford once again looking to throw. He's looking deep downfield. Pass was intended for Clater. I'm not sure if he'd have come down, he would have come down in bounds. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 with a 32 seconds left to go in this first half. And we have an official timeout on the field. Looks like we may have an injured Park Hill player. No, we have an equipment failure. While we have a minute, we'd like to remind you that Mr. Goodcent's $5 footlong subs are back, and Mr. Goodcent, 7 great subs to choose from. Come see what's fresh. It's really fresh at Mr. Goodcent's. 2nd and 10, 32 seconds left to go in this first half. 28-7, Park Hill leads over North Kansas City. North Kansas City has 2 receivers split to the near side, 2 to the far side. Ford's going to look to pass once again. Finds his open receiver. That's Julian Tirada. And North Kansas City calls timeout. And there was a clock problem, as you might hear in the background. The clock's down to 22. They're going to now reset it to 34 seconds. Give North Kansas City a little more time to work with. So we're 34 seconds left to go in this first half. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for North Kansas City. The ball sitting at the 25-yard line. And this Park Hill defense has really been pretty solid, not only in the running game, but that passing game as well. We have an official clock stoppage. They're going to actually reset the clock to 28.6 seconds before we get back underway here in this first half. Ford once again is dropped back to pass. He overthrows his intended receiver. He was looking for number 44, Rudy Rodriguez-Tyner. And that's going to bring out 4th and 5, 25 seconds left to go in this first half. Defense at the very beginning of the game for Park Hill looked a little shaky. They look really solid now.
Yeah, if you got a player of the first half, you got to look at these defensive backs, and they start with Gage Wright on that right side. He's done an excellent job all day long, stuck with his receiver, speed for speed out there, and he's doing man-to-man coverage all day long.
4th and 5. Horde once again looking to pass. Throws into the end. Looking for number 83, Roy Clater. Excellent job once again by Park Hill. Pass was broken up by number 30, John Balsamo, once again for Park Hill, and he's had an excellent game as well today.
Yeah, like I said, these defensive backs have done an excellent job of staying with the speed of North Kansas City.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Park Hill. And it looks like they're going to line up and just run out the clock. And they'll do just that. As Tyner White takes a knee, and that'll bring us to an end of the first half. So Park Hill have a really good first half compared to last week. Very nice job with the defense and very nice job with the offense.
Yeah, defensively they stepped up this week. Offensively, they've started to get their swagger back. They're running the ball well. Tyler White threw the ball well in the first half. Let's hope they continue this in the second half.
You're listening to 810 Varsity Sports on the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Be sure to follow 810 Varsity Sports on Facebook and Twitter. The rest of the season, we'll choose a weekly winner for a $50 gift certificates to Best Buy, Nick and Jake's, and more. Follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter today. At the end of the first half in North Kansas City, Park Hill over North Kansas City, 28-7. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network.
The funniest ones, he's doing Forrest Gump at the hockey game.
When you want to go, we'll do it at 1:30. Why was I doing that? What are we going to talk about?
Just the.
I'll make some shit up.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to look it up.
Oh, don't worry. Go for it.
I'm dumping it to you. 15 seconds. Stand by. B-roll. Scores up. Here we go. 3, 2. Welcome back to North Kansas City High School, where Park Hill leads North Kansas City 28-7. Jim Dickerson along with A.J. Linhart. And A.J., a drastic difference between this week and last week. I think we've actually seen this offense and defense, both sides of the ball. Let's talk about offense first, really starting to click.
Yeah, offensively, first half they started out really slow. Couldn't really get their running game going, and it wasn't opening up. North Kansas City managed to contain them with their speed. The second quarter was night and day. They come out, they score 4 unanswered touchdowns. Mr. Hardiman, Dondrell comes out, takes over the running game. And North Kansas City didn't have an answer for him.
Defensively, of course, we've talked about it all night long. The defense without number 71, Andre Pipkins, but number 73, Gary Wilson, stepped up in his place. They were a little shaky for the first couple of plays, but that defense really came together, and they worked together, and they were really good that whole first half, but for maybe those first 2 plays.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. The first quarter, again, came out really sluggish, couldn't really get their feet under them. North Kansas City scores the touchdown. Then comes the defense. And really it started with the defensive backs. They started going toe-to-toe with the wide receivers and the speed of North Kansas City, and then turned around and contained the running game with their speed as well, and it just fell from there.
I'd like to remind you, you're listening to 810 Varsity Sports on the 810 Varsity Sports Network. You can follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter. The rest of the season, we'll choose a weekly winner for a $50 gift certificate to Best Buy, Nick and Jake's, and much more. Follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter today. It's also brought to you by Nick and Jake's, real food, honest drink. Nick and Jake's, the proud sponsor of 810varsity.com. Located in Parkville in the Parkville Commons and in Overland Park on 135th Street. You can visit them online at nickandjakes.com. As we get ready to start this second half, I guess the one thing that Park Hill is going to have to do is just keep doing what they ended up doing in the first half.
Yeah, what they did in that second quarter was great. You got to keep your defensive backs in there. You got to keep them engaged. If you're North Kansas City, you're in passing downs. You're in passing situation every down until you get back in this football game. There's a lot of time left, but you got to get something moving, and you got to get it started right off the bat.
As we start this second half, North Kansas City has won the toss. They will receive. Park Hill will be kicking off. We'll be back for the kickoff as we start the second half. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City District Stadium. 28-0 Park Hill leads, or I'm sorry, 28-7 Park Hill leads over North Kansas City. We are underway in the second half. Short kickoff for North Kansas City, or for Park Hill. North Kansas City is going to down it at the 30, call it the 25-yard line. And they almost had a couple of their guys get in there and muff that ball again, which was disastrous for North Kansas City in the first half.
Yeah. Park Hill, though, has struggled with their coverage right now, and that was a very good coverage kickoff. hope that continues for him.
North Kansas City continues to put Marcus Jones and Madison back to receive, and it looks like Park Hill's been kicking away from them, and that's actually paid off. Ford's going to start the second half with a handoff. He'll give it to number 27, Austin Barnett. He'll pick up about 2 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 8 for North Kansas City. Once again, a good defensive stop and a good start to the second half for Park Hill. Ford looking to throw. He actually had a receiver open. That was Jones on the far side, but he threw in front of his receiver. Didn't give him any chance to catch the ball, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that Matt Gilmy that's taken over at the nose tackle position right now did an excellent job of getting in the quarterback's face and making sure he had to get rid of that ball before he was ready.
You know, those 3 guys that Park Hill has up front are pretty good guys, or big guys. Pipkins, Wilson, and Gilmy, all 3. Gilmy checks in 230, Wilson 235. Of course, Pipkins 320.
Yeah.
Ford back to pass on 3rd down. He finds number 44 on a screen. That's Rodriguez Tyner. Tyner will pick up about 4 yards on the play. It'll take him out to about the 34-yard line where they'll mark him down, and it'll bring up a 4th and 3.
Yeah, another good play by the defense of Park Hill. They contained the play, made sure nobody got loose.
So once again, North Kansas City in a punting formation. They're going to kick it off and punt to Holmes, who's set to receive the punt for Park Hill. Nice spiraling, and Holmes muffs the ball, and he's able to recover it. And you had talked about it earlier. The gunners on Park Hill have to get a hold of, give some room for Holmes to work down there. Cameron Madison for North Kansas City just shot by his defender like he was shot out of a cannon, and he was all over Holmes before Holmes had a chance to get the ball.
Yeah, he was there ready to take the punt instead of Holmes. I mean, you got to give that guy some extra time. You got to put a hand on him, and they're not getting it.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for Park Hill. They'll start off at the 25-yard line, 10:37 to go in this 3rd quarter. Tyler White's going to hand off up the middle. He'll hand off up to McDonald. McDonald will pick up about 4 yards on 1st down, take it up to the 29-yard line where it'll be a 2nd and 6 situation. And I'm sorry, that's actually Hardiman on the carry. And you were talking earlier about the differences between the 2 running backs, between Hardiman and McDonald.
Well, Hardiman's a little smaller than McDonald. He's got a lower center of gravity, and he's actually being able to power through these arm tackles of North Kansas City, where McDonald's a little bit more of an upright runner. He's not getting as low to the ground, and they're able to stop him a little bit quicker.
Hardiman on the carry again. He'll pick up about 1 yard. He'll move forward to the 31-yard line. And that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 4 for Park Hill. Jake Jones checks into the ball game for Park Hill. And we have a quick timeout on the field, and we're back underway. Hardiman is in the backfield. Tyler White hands off to him. Hardiman tries to run up the middle. He'll pick up maybe 1 on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down for Park Hill. And Park Hill's going to elect to punt in this situation. They'll bring Zach Anderson out to punt. Coach Reynolds has been pretty content to go for things on 4th down, but in this situation, looks like he's going to punt. And it seems like they caught North Kansas City kind of off guard. They had people running everywhere, and I think they got into situation where they're so used to Park Hill running on fourth down or going for it on fourth down that they didn't have their punt team out there.
Yeah, the punt team was late coming on the field and then kind of didn't get to the line of scrimmage real quick. Just weren't ready, and coach called a timeout from the sideline.
Takes us down to 8:41 in the third quarter. 28-7. Park Hill still leads. Ordering Mr. Good Sense is now just a click away. It's quick and easy with Good Sense online ordering. Just go to MrGoodSense.com and place your order today. 8:41 left to go in the third quarter. 28-7 Park Hill over North Kansas City. Zach Anderson set to punt, deep to receive for North Kansas City. Marcus Jones, he'll stand at the 40-yard line.
This is where you want to get the ball off quick.
Nice punt by Zach Anderson. It is going to drop down, take a very favorable bounce for Park Hill, and it's going to be out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, where North Kansas City will take over, 1st and 10.
North Kansas City was coming after that punt. Park Hill punter did an excellent job getting it off. Got a nice high spiral, aimed it for the sideline, and it took a favorable bounce. Definitely, the ball is bouncing their way right now.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for North Kansas City. Ball on the 25-yard line. They're going to split Clater out to the near side. Horde hands off. And there's a fumble. The ball is on the ground. It's still on the ground. Recovered again by North Kansas City. That ball kept rolling forward. It went through a number of different players' hands. And it was finally recovered by, looks like, number 44, Rudy Rodriguez-Tyner. So McIntosh had the ball. He fumbled it. It rolled forward. Several players fell on it. Recovered by North Kansas City. Ball moves all the way up to the 49-yard line. 1st down for North Kansas City. They're in Park Hill territory. Jazz White splits out to the near side for North Kansas City. Horde, quick pass. His intended receiver is Cameron Madison. Madison unable to hold on. Pretty good thrown pass by Horde.
Yeah, we were talking with some of the individuals that call the North Kansas City games early, and they were telling us that their wide receivers are struggling a little bit to hang on to that ball. And there again, pass was right on the money, and it didn't come in.
Madison will come in, come out. Clater will go in for North Kansas City. That brings up a 2nd and 10. Horde under center. He's going to hand off to McIntosh. McIntosh actually may lose a yard on the play. He's tripped up in the backfield. Ball's going to be marked down just short of the 50-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and 11 for North Kansas City. Good defensive play by Park Hill.
Number 49 limped pretty gingerly off the field on that one for North Kansas City.
49 would be Stephen Matley for North Kansas City. Horde looking to pass. Looks to the near side. He's got his pass complete. That's Roy Clater. He'll pick up 7 on the play, but that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 situation for North Kansas City.
Looks like North Kansas City is going to go for it.
If you're North Kansas City, you're down 28-7, 7:22 left in the third quarter. Obviously, Coach Douglas for North Kansas City has to get a spark back into his team so he can get his team in this game.
Yeah, he definitely needs to go for it here.
Horde drops back to pass. He's complete. That's Clater again, and it looks like he's got enough for the 1st down. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. He only needed to get to the 39, and that is a 1st down for North Kansas City.
Excellent coverage there by Gage Wright, but he got just enough for the 1st down, and Gage put him down immediately.
It's one of those situations, too. If you look size-wise, Gage White is a little bit smaller than Roy Clater is for North Kansas City.
Yeah, he's given up 3-4 inches on the height there.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for North Kansas City. They'll take the ball at the 38-yard line. Ford once again looking to throw. Shows short, but taken in by Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones with the reception at the 30-yard line. Ball was thrown a little underthrown and a little bit behind Jones.
Yeah, Jones did a great job going down and getting that ball. He ended up on his back before he caught it, but still was able to slide in under and make a good catch.
That's about a 7-yard pickup on 1st down for North Kansas City. This time they'll split Madison to the near side, Jones to the far side. Ford once again looking for Madison. Madison brings the ball in at about the 23-yard line, and that'll be enough for another North Kansas City 1st down. And it looks like North Kansas City's going to try, they're going to be content instead of going with these long passes down the field. They seem pretty content for these short out passes. They seem to be working right now.
Yeah, they're running these sideline panners, and they're doing a good job of it. Park Hill's going to have to make an adjustment and get some pressure on this quarterback. These are quick release patterns that are really helping out North Kansas City. They're not giving Park Hill a whole lot of time to get the pressure going.
That incompletion will bring up about 2nd and 10 for North Kansas City. Once again, Roy Clater split out to the near side. Ford once again looking to throw. He's under pressure. Can't find an open receiver, and he's brought down out of bounds. You got to be careful there if you're number 35, Corey Welsh. He was still hanging on to the quarterback. He's about 4 yards out of bounds. You can get a penalty there. The coach is complaining about it, and that would be a penalty you wouldn't want to give up in this situation.
Yeah, that's a personal foul penalty that'll get them 15 yards and keep their drive alive.
Instead, North Kansas City looking at a 3rd and 8 situation. McIntosh lined up in the backfield. They've got Jones out to the far side. Ford's looking his way. He throws across the middle. Pass deflected by number 44, Rudy Rodriguez-Tyner. Almost picked off by Park Hill by Gage Wright on the deflection.
Yeah, and once again, where was Gage Wright? Right where the ball was coming.
So that brings up a 4th and 8 for North Kansas City, and they have the ball at the 30. They're calling it the 21-yard line. So a big 4th down play for Park Hill. They're going to send Tyner in motion. Ford looking. And once again, he's got Marcus Jones wide open. Marcus Jones, the ball hit him right in the hands, and he drops it. And Park Hill will take over on downs. We're going to step away with 6:11 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Park Hill leads 28-7. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Does it matter that our levels are really, really low?
On there?
Yeah.
They are not.
We're just barely breaking the 3rd green.
Well, you're not excited.
Okay, you watch. You watch. Here we go. You ready? Welcome back to North Kansas City District Stadium. Park Hill takes over. 6:11 left to go in the 3rd quarter. They lead 28-7. Tyner looks to throw. Looking downfield across the middle. He's got number 92, who's pushed out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at about the 48-yard line. And I'd love to tell you who that is, but I don't have a 92 on my sheet. And the beauty is I've got more than one sheet, and he's not on any of them.
Well, I wonder if that's Dietrich. He's the normal tight end, starting tight end for this Park Hill school.
So that brings up 1st down. White's going to hand off up the middle. Park Hill will take the ball up to about the 45-yard line. That's Eustis, the ball carrier. Nice pickup of about 4 on first down. Bring up 2nd and 6. This time Lane Holmes will split out to the near side. White looks to throw. Oh, he finds Holmes open on the near side. Holmes tripped up. If he could have kept his footing, he had an open field in front of him. He could have walked into the end zone, and he knows it.
Yeah, he needed one more move, and he just didn't get there. Got a shoestring tackle. Nice open field for North Kansas City.
That brings up about a 3rd and call it 2 for Park Hill. Eustis and Hardiman in the backfield. They're going to flip it back to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to try to get to the outside. He breaks one tackle, and he fights his way forward, and it looks like he might have enough for the first down. We'll have to spot it. He was actually stopped in the backfield. He was able to break free. It looks like they're going to mark him down at about the 37-yard line. And they're going to give him enough for the first down. So first down for Park Hill. Excellent running job by Hardiman. He was actually stopped in the backfield.
Yeah, he kept his feet moving, which is what you want to do as a running back, and then he broke the hold. The guy was trying to pull him down by his jersey, and not the right way to try to bring down a small back.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for Park Hill. And once again, they'll hand it off to Hardiman. This time he is stopped in the backfield, and he won't break free from that. He's going to lose about a yard on the play.
Yeah, North Kansas City did an excellent job of shooting the gap. Got right up in there.
Alex Harris was in on the stop for North Kansas City. They did a good job right up the middle.
Yeah, they read that play all the way.
Brings up about a 2nd and 12 for Park Hill. They'll split Trawick out to the near side. And they'll hand off once again to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to cut up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and pushes his way forward to about the 31-yard line for a pickup of about 6 on the play.
You notice Hardiman's the first one to get up out of that pile of 4. He had 3 defenders bring him down, and he's the first one to pop out of there.
That offensive line is doing a good job of making some gaps, making some holes for these running backs to get through.
Yeah, they are definitely winning the yardage game up there.
This time White's looking to throw, looking downfield. Closest receiver in the area was Eustis. He was well overthrown. And that brings up a 4th and 5 situation for Park Hill. We talked about it earlier a couple of games ago when you talk about these holes. Keep an eye on number 50, Mitch McMahon. He does a good job of pushing his defenders out to the outside when he needs to, pushing them to the inside when he needs to, and it's that helps create some of these holes for these running backs to run through.
He does an excellent job of that.
Once again, a handoff up the middle. Park Hill's going to get plenty for the first down. They needed to get to the 27. They got to the 23.
And they ran right behind your number 50 you were just talking about. That time he took his guy and he just planted him 5 yards down the field.
They're actually going to mark it down at the 24-yard line, but it's still enough for a first down with 2:44 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Pitch back to Hardiman. Hardiman tries to get to the outside and get around the corner. He'll pick up about 5 on the play on first down. And we have a North Kansas City player down on the far sideline.
You know, Jim, even when they get Hardiman tackled, they're not bringing him to the ground. He's walking away from these pushing out of bounds, and that the defensive players one ended up on the ground.
That was number 44, Tyner, that was slightly injured on the play, but he's back up and he's actually in this play. Quick handoff up the middle. That's Eustace. It looks like he'll get forward to about the 15-yard line. And that'll bring up a third and very short one for Park Hill. Jake Jones checks back in the game for Park Hill. Tyler White's going to hand off once again to Hardiman. Hardiman's going to pick up about 4 on the play, and that's going to be enough for another Park Hill first down as he moves forward to about the 11-yard line of North Kansas City. So Hardiman's doing a real good job of a couple of things. One, finding his blockers, and 2, holding on to that football.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. After that second week when Jordan Wang went down, he was running with the football kind of out away from his body. He has corrected that issue. He's tucking it away and he's protecting it, and he's following the blocks.
Hardiman once again up the middle, and he's going to fight his way all the way down to about the 1-yard line, and another impressive run by Hardiman.
If you're Coach Reynolds, you got to be excited to see the intensity these kids have come out with and how well they're coming up and playing this ball game after what happened last week against Jeff City.
The first down marker actually is at the 1-yard line. The line of scrimmage is about the 1 yard and 1 inch line. And Park Hill's able to just move it forward and score another touchdown, and that was, I think that was Eustace.
That was Eustace. Took it in, short yardage.
Extra point attempt by Park Hill is up. It is good. And Park Hill now leads North Kansas City 35-7 with 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. They get down there around that corner. I can't fucking see.
Are you taking notes on the good plays? Is that what you're doing? No. Oh. Well, who you texting? What's her name?
Texting the scores to the scoreboard.
Oh.
Her name is Chad's brother.
What? Well, yeah, right. It was a girl.
No, Chad's brother.
Like I said. Isn't he the guy?
I don't know his fucking name now, so it just says scores.
I guess I need to quit.
Here we go.
Welcome back to North Kansas City District Stadium. Park Hill over North Kansas City 35-7. Jim Dickerson along with A.J. Lenhart. We've got 1 minute, 1 second left to go in this third quarter. Sampson with the kick, a very short kick, and once again bobbled by North Kansas City. And that ball will roll out of bounds at about the 20-yard line, and they are going to give it to North Kansas City. And once again, some miscommunication. Madison got his hand in on it, and these guys have been doing that on almost every kickoff or punt.
Yeah, number 3 had a hard time picking up the ball in these lights. I'm going to give him the lights anyway as being the issue, and he but managed to try to get back on the ball and got it out of bounds where they maintained possession.
They got really lucky on that. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, just under a minute to play here in this third quarter for North Kansas City. Ward looking to throw. His intended receiver, number 83, Roy Clater, and threw out of his reach, and Clater was unable to pull it in.
Yeah, the timing's just a little bit off between the quarterback and his wide receivers right now. He's trying to throw quick outs, and his receivers aren't making their cuts fast enough right now.
That stops the clock with 56 seconds left to go in this third quarter. And 2nd and 10 for North Kansas City. Plater once again split out to the near side. This time Hord's going to hand off. That play goes nowhere, as Gilmy was right in the middle of that, and he broke up that play before it ever got started. It was almost like he was in the huddle with those guys.
Yeah, definitely a good read on his part. Went right up the middle, right up the gut.
Brings up a 3rd and 13 for North Kansas City. We've got 30 seconds left to go in this third quarter. High snap. Hord has trouble controlling it. He's going to have to just hold on to it. He's immediately brought down by Park Hill. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Ostron Smith with the sack on that play as we end the third quarter. 35-7 here in North Kansas City. You're listening to A10varsity.com. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to North Kansas City High School. Park Hill over North Kansas City 35-7 as we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. North Kansas City looking at a 4th and 22. They will be punting. Deep to receive for Park Hill is going to be Lane Holmes. Trawick is also deep to receive for Park Hill. And there's a penalty flag on the play. And it looks like it's a sideline warning. And that one went against Park Hill. Still 4th and 22 for North Kansas City. Park Hill has Holmes and Trawick deep to receive. Park Hill's going to elect to let the ball roll. It takes a favorable roll for North Kansas City, and it looks like it'll be down at about the 46-yard line, where Park Hill will take over 1st and 10. Nick and Jake's Real Food, Honest Drink. Nick and Jake's, the proud title sponsor of A10varsity.com, located in Parkville in the Parkville Commons and in Overland Park on 135th Street. Visit them online at nickandjakes.com. Thinking about making a move? Fall is a great time to sell your home. Call Ken Hoover at 816-210-2027 or visit him online at kenhooversells.com. He'd be happy to answer any questions and help you in any way. Ken Hoover, 816-210-2027, the real estate professional you can count on. Park Hill takes over 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. They lead 35-7. 11:47 left to go in this ball game. And another penalty flag. And that's going to be a false start against Park Hill.
Park Hill's getting a little sloppy here. Coach Reynolds will talk to him, get him calmed back down, and get him right back in this.
They've got true receivers split out to the far side. McDonald's back in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. He'll drive forward and make it all the way up to about the 49-yard line for a pickup of about 3 on the play, but it's going to bring up about a 2nd and 12.
Got a lot of subs coming in and out. Kids are just need a little bit more confidence. Keep them together here.
This time they'll split Trawick out to the near side. Once again, McDonald hands off, or White hands off to McDonald. McDonald pushes his way forward, gets over midfield. He'll be brought down at the 49-yard line for a pickup of about 8 on the play. And it'll bring up about a 3rd and 5. North Kansas City defense looks like they're getting a little tired. You got a lot of guys walking around with their hands on their hips as we come to 10:35 left to go in this ball game. Flip back to McDonald. McDonald has a lot of room to run. He's got a blocker in front of him. That's Mitch McMahon. And they're going to mark him out at about the 3-yard line, but an excellent run by McDonald. And we talked about him early. That was Mitch McMahon, and he was leading the charge.
Yes. Mitch McMahon led the charge, and McDonald, if he didn't see it on the tape, he reached out, he let his boy know where he was at, and he kept the blocker between him, and the only way he got caught was from behind.
Park Hill's got a little bit of a problem, and they're going to end up having to take a timeout. They didn't have the proper personnel on the field, so they'll take a timeout with 10:15 left to go. We're going to step away. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network.
Did you get it on the tape? Just almost yeah. Well, it says the 4th on the official.
Well, I was sitting there going, because I keep saying fourth quarter. It's like, there can't be 10 minutes left. No, well, that's what I was thinking. It's like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, they were actually down. They only had 10 men on the field.
Somebody needs to go down there and tell these fucking kids that they're damn spoiled. 'Cause this has been the easiest, nicest football season, high school football season I've ever seen weather-wise.
Welcome back to North Kansas City Stadium. 35-7. Park Hill leads over North Kansas City. We're 10:15 left to go in this ball game. Park Hill just coming off a nice, impressive run from McDonald. Took it all the way down to about the 3-yard line, where it's 1st and goal for Park Hill. Park Hill's going to hand off again to McDonald's. He dives into the end zone, and for another touchdown for Park Hill. So once again, Park Hill and McDonald and Hardiman doing great job. Coach Reynolds has done an excellent job in coaching these guys how to block, and then coaching the running backs how to follow those blocks.
Yes, he has. Not to mention the fact he's going to be proud of these boys from the rebound they've made from last week.
Extra point is up, and it hits the upright, but it is good, and that'll make it 42-7. With 10:09 left to go in this ball game, Park Hill leads 42-7 into North Kansas City. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City, where Park Hill Trojans lead North Kansas City 42-7. We're 10:09 left to go in this ball game. Back to receive for North Kansas City, Marcus Jones and Cameron Madison. Kicking off for Park Hill is Sampson. He'll kick towards Madison. Madison will bring it in. Try to cut to the outside. He's got some running room. And he fumbles the ball. And it looks like North Kansas City falls on it. That's John Platel, who was right there. But once again, North Kansas City, their special teams, they cannot hold on to the football.
No, they're struggling right now, and I'm sure Coach Douglas is going to be working on that once again this next week. Right now, you want to teach your young guys to protect it and take it down the field straight away.
I don't have the number here in front of me, but it seems like almost every kickoff or punt that North Kansas City has been on the receiving side. They've had some sort of trouble holding on to that football. Handoff goes to McIntosh. He's going to make it up to about the 34-yard line. He'll pick up about 5 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
You know, Jim, to North Kansas City's credit, they have recovered their own fumbles here. They really only have the 2 turnovers. But like you said, they've got to be able to hang on to that football.
So that brings up 2nd and 5 for North Kansas City. Ford's going to hand off. They're going to run up the middle. That's McIntosh again. He'll pick up maybe 2 yards on the play, but he's doing a good job holding on to the football.
Yeah, they are. North Kansas City is trying to keep going with their speed, and they just can't seem to hold on.
So that brings up a 3rd and short 1 for North Kansas City. They'll split Clater out to the near side. They'll hand it off to McIntosh. And McIntosh immediately brought down. He's brought down by number 27, Chauncey Hatton for Park Hill.
Yeah,
good job by Chauncey getting up the middle.
Yeah, he shot the gap, saw the play materialize, and took the player down. Excellent stop on his half.
So Park Hill will send out Trawick deep to receive this punt from North Kansas City. And now they run out Lane Holmes as well. We're 7:35 left to go in this 4th quarter. North Kansas City looks a little confused. And once again, AJ, you got to watch these gunners for North Kansas City. They are quick. Trawick runs up and catches the ball on a bounce. A very dangerous play. He's going to be immediately brought down at about the, well, we'll call it the 39-yard line. There is a penalty on the play.
Yeah, you're going to get a hold there on that one. They tried to get a little extra help with the gunner.
So that penalty will go against Park Hill. It's going to push him back. The ball was originally down at about the 38-yard line. They're going to mark off that penalty. It'll push them all the way back to about the 26-yard line. 26-yard line where Park Hill will take over 1st and 10. 6:25 left to go in the ball game. Park Hill leads 42-7. Park Hill has brought in a new quarterback. That's sophomore Clay Ford. Coach Reynolds is going to let Tyler White get a well-needed rest. He flips back to McDonald. McDonald actually drops the ball. He's going to lose about 5 yards on the play, brought down about the 20-yard line. Now they're going to mark him all the way back to the 19-yard line. That's a loss of 6 on the play.
Yeah, McDonald just tried to run with that ball before he looked it in. You got to see the pitch before you can make it.
McDonald's probably not used to playing so much with Ford. He's not used to the passes back or the flips back from Ford. He's used to getting them from White. You've got to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
Once again, handoff up the middle to McDonald. McDonald's going to and McDonald's actually fumbled on the play, and the fumble was recovered by number 18, Baldwin.
Really didn't see that exchange happen.
The exchange,
got in the line.
The exchange looked clean. He got in the line, and then we couldn't see anything. Ball was on the ground, and North Kansas City comes up with it, so they'll take over. First and 10, 20-yard line. We're 4:45 left to go in this ball game. Gary Wilson's back in a nose tackle for the defense for Park Hill. Hord's still in at quarterback for North Kansas City. He's looking to throws to the far side. He's got a receiver, he's open. The receiver breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and is brought down at about the 12-yard line. Pickup of 8. That's Jazz White on the reception.
Yeah, Park Hill's brought in a lot of youngsters, getting them some experience, getting them ready to play not only this year, later on in the year, but next year.
So that brings up 2nd and 1 for North Kansas City. The clock's still running. North Kansas City doesn't look like they're in any type of a hurry. You know, and whether you're down 42-7 or the game's much closer, it's a good time to practice that hurry-up offense.
Mm-hmm.
Ford looking to throw. He had a receiver. It was Roy Clater. Clater couldn't hold on to the ball and was perfectly thrown into his hands. No reason Clater shouldn't have had that reception.
Yeah, they just aren't looking the ball in all the way.
And look at the offense for North Kansas City. The clock continues to run, and there's no urgency at all on the part of North Kansas City.
No, they're just running their standard offense, trying to get it going.
So that brings up a 3rd and 1 for North Kansas City. Obviously in 4-down territory. Hord's going to keep the ball and try to push his way forward. He'll have enough for the first down. He'll be brought down at about the 3-yard line. That's a first down for North Kansas City. Good power push on the offensive line for North Kansas City. Ford on first down is going to hand off quickly. That play goes nowhere. All sorts of defenders in on the tackle for Park Hill. They're led by number 73, Gary Wilson. And Gary Wilson has done an excellent job up front there covering that nose tackle position.
Yeah, Park Hill's had interchangeable nose tackles tonight. Both have done an excellent job. They're getting penetration up the middle. They're causing all kinds of havoc for the running backs of North Kansas City.
That brings up a 2nd down. Once again, North Kansas City tries to go up the middle. Have to see where they mark it. It doesn't look like they gained any yardage on the play whatsoever. Once again, North Kansas City not in any kind of hurry. We're at 1:39. The clock continues to run. And they're going to mark it down at the 1-yard line. That brings up a 3rd and goal for North Kansas City. Ford trying to get the play from the sideline.
You can see Coach Reynolds over there on the Park Hill sideline really cheering these young kids on.
You know, for these younger guys that are coming in that don't normally start, this is a huge defensive stand for them. But Hord's ever to keep the ball, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown for North Kansas City.
Yeah, the boys did an excellent job after giving up the short field.
North Kansas City's trying to decide if they want to try for two or just kick the extra point. Looks like they're going to kick the extra point, but they can't seem to get the right personnel on the field. They do now. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And it's now 42-14. Park Hill leads. We're going to step away briefly. 1:01 left to go in this ball game. Park Hill ahead of North Kansas City, 42-14. You're listening to the Park Hill football on the 810 Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back to North Kansas City Stadium. Park Hill leads North Kansas City 42-14. We got 1 minute left to go in this ball game. North Kansas City set to kick off. Deep to receive for Park Hill is Trawick. He's going to back up a few steps. He'll take the ball in at the 18-yard line. He finds a lane. Quickly brought down by number 35. That's Alex Harris. Park Hill will start. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. 810 Varsity Sports. You can listen to us online, Facebook, Twitter. The rest of the season we'll choose a weekly winner for a $50 gift certificate to Best Buy, Nick and Jake's, and more. Follow 810 Varsity on Facebook and Twitter today. Tonight's game, Park Hill Trojan Football, is brought to you by executive producer Chad Rader. Our producer in the booth is Eric Armstrong. AJ Linhart, I'm Jim Dickerson. 42-14. We have 57 seconds left in this ball game. Handoff up the middle to McDonald. He'll pick up 3 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7. And AJ, as we bring this game to a close, totally different ball game than we saw last week back at Park Hill.
Yeah, Park Hill has done an excellent job of recovering. They're showing a lot of poise. They came out a little bit slow, got it going in the second quarter, and have continued to motor forward.
Clock continues to run. We're under 27 seconds left to go in this ball game. Once again, Clay Ford is in at quarterback for Park Hill. They're going to simply hand the ball off and just let that clock run. North Kansas City seeming to indicate they thought the ball was on the ground. No motion from the official. Coach Reynolds just took a Gatorade bath, and it looks very cold. And this game is over. So Park Hill has come back to have a very good recovery from last week as they win 42-14. And Coach Reynolds has to be really proud of this football team.
Yeah, you got to be really proud of the boys. Not only the way they came out firing, they didn't give up. They finally got moving in the second quarter, scored 28 unanswered points, and they kept going from there. Defensively, they struggled just as hard or just as bad last week against a bigger, more physically dominant ball club in Jeff City, and they came out tonight without their number 1 guy, Andre Pipkin, and really got it done.
And one of the things you brought up in pregame that's very important is these games they're playing now are games that are important because they're within their division.
Yeah, they're now 3-0 in their division, and it's just going to continue to move them forward.
We'll be back next week. We'll be back home in Park Hill for another week of Friday night high school football. Hope you'll join us. You're listening to the 810 Varsity Sports Network. We'll see you next week in Park Hill.